Hello guys, it's Wixie here. If you don't know who I am, I'm a Challenger 80 carry main. Challenger for like many seasons, and I've been an ex-pro player. Just coming back playing into season 15, realizing the meta, how it is, and I feel like I have my own takes on it that I haven't really seen anywhere else. And so today I'm going to make a tier list for 80 carries specifically. No mages, none of that. I know this like tier list maker has like weird things like Akshan, Karthus, Vagar, but I'm just gonna skip over those and just try to like put the ADCs basically into their tier list. And yeah, I'm gonna show you guys basically what I think and how much the meta has changed because I feel like a lot of people say the meta hasn't changed. I feel like it has changed quite a bit because at least for solo queue, a lot of these like there's so many incentives now to fight in the game. Whereas before there was like way less. You could just scale and do nothing a lot of games, and it's pretty effective. So I'm going to start off with ranking Aphelios. Um, for Aphelios, I mean, I feel like I'm just going to slam him down here. This character, even if you're insanely good at him, which I feel like I have a lot of skill on Aphelios, I feel like he's just so not worth playing right now compared to other AD carries because there's so many mages bot lane. By the way, right now there's so many mages, so many spellcasters, and so much poke, and you have no reliable lifesteal to build except Bloodthirster, but then you get no crit. And by the way, crit really does suck this season. Crit is just very suboptimal in the bot lane. It's not the greatest. There's certain 80 carries that are like exceptions, but overall crit is bad. And Af just struggles with these items. He's really struggling. He has a D-blade and a fleet of footwork at most for sustain, and he just gets poked out of so many lanes while also he doesn't have the damage nor the mobility to survive in like any team fights or kill many of the tanks right now. Whereas I feel like a lot of the on-hit 80 carries can like destroy tanks. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention left to right does matter. I'm going to start off with putting Af in the D tier. Ashe. Ashe, I feel like decent. She's good. She's pretty good. The thing about Ashe that like I guess sets her apart from like other AD carries is like her utility, of course. I feel like utility is so strong, and her early fighting in the current meta is just it's super oppressive. You want to be an oppressive AD carry who fights a lot, and Ashe, I mean, she's like a first blood demon, like running people down, level one volley. Ashe has just so much strength early game, and it's super valuable right now. And I feel like the one thing that's like keeping her back is like she's a frickin' Berserker Greaves 80 carry. Like it's like hard to build defensive boots on her without it feeling really bad for your attack speed. And her builds aren't that great overall, but the champion itself is just super strong. So like Ashe, definitely a solid overall pick. Not rating brand. Caitlyn. Okay, I think Caitlyn is like really good right now. I'd probably put her like I put her above Ashe herself because I feel like Caitlyn has this advantage that not many other bot laners have, and that's her headshot damage to like turrets. And the amount of games I've played of Caitlyn this season in which I'm able to get first tower, or at least like do so much chip damage to it that my team can play around the first tower feat and then get us like the whole boot advantage for the team is super valuable. Plus the fact that Caitlyn can always push, win lane, get objectives, get dragons, and overall just scale pretty well. She's pretty good with the collector and certain crit items. Like she could just go full bonk damage, no Yuntal, no crappy attack speed items, and she could just still chop your head off with like a massive crit. So Caitlyn's really good still. Skipping over Cassio. Okay, right up to the top of S tier, this is Thanos. This is literally Thanos of the season. Whether you build him like with Manamune and freaking Triforce, which I think is his best build right now, or if you just go Essence Rai for huge damage and crit, this champ is just insane. The fact that he can just build Manamune and Triforce like these like hard spiking two items and also build defensive boots and also be OP early game and also shred tanks and having mobility and being a spellcaster who can like poke and burst you. Corki is Thanos. He fights early game, he wins. He fights mid game, he wins. He fights late game, he's OP. Like this champion is overtuned right now, and Ryan has to do something about this guy. He's deserving of a nerf in the 80 carry role. he's a whole like menace, a demon. This guy, I don't know, like pick Corki for free LP this season. Also remember that his W damage is insane. You all in, you drop a Valkyrie on their head. It's literally Rumble ult. It's Rumble ult early game. Just pick him. Just pick him. Draven, he's weak. He's actually quite weak in his normal terms or his normal standards as like a Draven as like Draven usually is, because this character cannot kill a single tank. The enemy locks in a tank, you're cooked. You can't build LDR or nothing. Like your champ just can't output the damage to match up with like the tanks right now, and it's really bad. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, like sure it's like a really oppressive fighting season, but it's also like a defensive boot season. It's like a ninja tabby season. So like if the feats are ever conquered by the enemy team and you're Draven into the new steel caps, good luck ever dealing damage to anyone. And it shows in his win rates, by the way. I think this is the first time Draven has gone below like a 50% win rate. He's like a 49.9% win rate, but that's horrible in Draven standards. He's usually hovering at like a 52 to 54 because of one tricks playing him, but this is just a horrible state for Draven. He's just, I don't like it. He's still going to be a B tier because Draven's the king of solo queue and he still has that X factor of like farming gold and snowballing. But man, like just hope the enemy team doesn't lock in like frickin' like Scion or Zac jungle or Skarner jungle and you're just fried if that happens. Ezreal. I'm going to put him at the top of B tier. In my opinion, he's just Walmart Corki. He's like Corki from Temu. Like he builds the same items. He goes Triforce Man Immune. He just doesn't have the early game strength, nor the late game scaling, nor the mid game spiking as Corki does. Like, and he doesn't have the tank shred as Corki does. Like the true damage is just too disgusting. They both have dashes. Like they're both like mobile and safe. Just Corki has insane, way better wave clear, way better scale, and way better. Just like he's just the better champion. Don't pick Ezreal when Corki's in the game. Like Ezreal has his moments in certain matchups, like the Misfortune matchup, but no, like Ezreal, I'm an Ezreal enjoyer myself, and I have to say he's weak right now, which is like he's usually hovering in the A's, but I have to put him at like a B tier. He's kind of mid right now. Jhin. Right, where do I slot in Jhin? I feel like Jhin is above Caitlyn. The reason why I just feel like he's just a better Ashe in terms of like his his utility, his strength in laning phase, and his strength early on. I feel like Jhin is just super strong, and I feel like the X factor of the Jhin compared to these two champions is that these two champions they go Berserker Greaves. Jhin can go Tabis. Jhin can go Swifties, which is insanely overpowered right now. And these boosts are just, if you ever get the feat with them, it's just you're just actually like way stronger, so much stronger. And the sad part about the current ADC meta is that you're actually griefing your team. You're actually throwing 750 gold down the drain if you upgrade your Berserker Greaves in this modern season. If you win the feat and you upgrade your Berserkers, you're selling the game. You're just wasting money. You just get like two long swords, bro. It's way better. It's worthless. It's 10 movement speed or like per auto attack. It's bad. Or for one auto attack. All right. Yeah, Jhin is high up because of boot diff and he's pretty bursty and good fighter. Jinx. I'm debating whether top of B or low A. I'm gonna for now put her in low A because I feel like Jinx has it's a very like objective like reliant season, and the fact that Jinx is passive, procs on objectives, the fact that she has that like whole get excited passive, like it's just super like it's a super big X factor in the game, and I feel like her biggest downside is the fact that she is very immobile. She does struggle against the mages of bot lane, and I am like trying to like factor in mage matchups for a lot of these AD carries because in many games you are going to be playing against these ratty mages, and you're going to need to like have mobility, have sustain, have range. And Jinx is quite lacking versus these spells, and she can be in a very tough position, having to go fleet, lacking lethal tempo, and just being so much weaker in many games. So I want to put her like it's tough to say But for now, I'll keep her here because it's still like Jinx. She can scale like a monster. She can get objectives and fight like a monster. Her team fighting is crazy, but you gotta survive laning phase, which is important. Kaisa. Okay. Um, you know what? Now that I see Kaisa, I'm gonna do this. Yep, yep, I'm gonna do this. Kaisa is pretty underrated right now. I think her ability, what's a really big important thing about this season right now is your ability to be on the map as AD carry, your ability to like impact the map and just be at objectives on time and to be like running around making things happen because showing up to grubs is going to be a actually important thing because you need to get these OBJs, you need to get these objectives, three epic monsters to get the feat, like everyone's playing for these things. And it's not like, oh, sure, you can debate it's like copium, but and Riot put it as placebo, but it's making everyone fight. Everyone is now actively engaging in the game, and now I feel like Kaisa is just locked in and just actually a good champion because she look for picks with her ult. She has strong burst in laning phase. She has good team fighting, like and 3 item spikes. Like I think Static Shiv with Rage Blade and Nashor's Tooth, like you get your spike a little bit late with your Q evolve, but overall like it's just so strong when you spike and you get to team fight as her. I've been enjoying Kai'Sa a lot. I feel like there's so many fights, and Kai'Sa just loves fights. As long as there's fights in the river, fights in the jungle, fights, 2v2, 3v3, Kai'Sa's gonna show up. Kai'Sa's gonna ult, and she's gonna make it there before the enemy ADC, or she's gonna show up and clean up. So I like Kai'Sa a lot right now. Ooh, 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 ooh. Kalista. It'd be bad that I'm putting a lot of ADCs in A tier, but I feel like a lot of ADCs are decent right now, and a lot of people are not gonna like me for this one, but oof, oof. I like Kalista a lot right now. I like Kalista a lot. I'm gonna bump her above Ashe. Frick. Is it? I'm gonna bump her above Ashe. People are gonna say like that's like bad. Like Ashe counters the hell out of Kalista. But bro, like I I don't care about that matchup. Like that matchup is not as bad as people think. If I'm Kalista, I'm much more scared of like I don't know, like Draven, Misfortune, like Caitlyn. Caitlyn's actually like super super like scary with her range. Um, but Ashe, like you can throw spears at her, you can throw your Q at her, and you can trade with her. The reason why I have Kalista so high and why I'm so like I'm such an adamant Kalista enjoyer is that on hit is really strong right now. Like on hit is actually super strong, and I feel like Kalista is one of like the best, obviously, users of that on hit. She can shred tanks, she can shred objectives, and she has good usage of boots that aren't Berserker Greaves as well. Like rushing tab eyes on Kalista has felt super strong this season, and just having perma fighting happening early is such a good like season for Kalista to play in my opinion. Um, so yeah, I've been enjoying Calista a lot. Um, this is like this is definitely where I feel like she's definitely comfortably in the A tier. She has her certain bad matchups, but I will keep her up here in the A tier for sure. Kog'Maw. Hmm. I'm going to be talking about on-hit Kog'Maw. Um, mid. I don't know. On-hit's good and all, but Kog'Maw is Kog'Maw. Like in a permafight like season where like sure shredding tanks is good, like Kog'Maw, he doesn't have the mobility that like jumping that Kalista does. He doesn't have like the ability to outplay many things. You just have to hope your support goes Lulu, and you guys can have a good laning matchup bot lane. But even then, like if you're Kog'Maw against like many of these A tier AD carries or even the S tier Corki, then you're gonna get your head chopped off in game, and it's gonna be like you're gonna use your passive a lot. So Kog'Maw, like you're in C tier, buddy. Like you're not good. Lucian showing the D tier with F. This chap sucks, dude. The Tab Eyes thing, like I said, Tab Eyes just guts Lucian. His build path is horrible right now. His matchups are bad. Like his support pairings are also bad. Nami Lucian is not even a thing anymore. Um, why would you play Lucian when you could just play like any other ADC? Plus crit kind of sucks. So like you're not going crit, or you are going crit on Lucian and it sucks. You're going Kraken Slayer on Lucian, it sucks. Just don't play Lucian, dude. He's so bad for being so short ranged. It's laughable. He's such a weak laner too compared to like any of these top guys and a weak fighter. Like I don't like Lucian. Our second S tier is Fortune. These two are like a cut up above the rest. I think like BT Rush MF versus these poke mages, like MF's movement speed and her ability to just go swifties and these boots. I keep saying it, but I'm gonna keep like drilling it in. I've played games on MF where I've went Swifties, Yomu's lethality, and I just ran everywhere, picking up a kill. Pick up kills top lane, pick up kills mid lane, pick up kills bot lane, go to grubs, kill enemy bot lane, or press R, get a CC chain ultimate combo, and it's just so oppressive. Every time there's a new season, this champion always comes back. I don't know why, but it's just the fact that her tempo is so good right now with boots and like her just movement speed and her early game strength, it just makes her so strong. And her ability to go lethality, ult builds, while also having like crit auto attack builds that are super meta with BT Rush and like Essence Reaver and IE, just raw damage. This champ is actually really insane right now, and so I think everyone should pick it up. Bottom of D tier, worst AD carry in the game, Neela. You don't want to pick her. You just don't pick her. It's never a good idea, guys. Like, I know there's a time you want to counterpick like Twitch, counterpick Draven, counterpick these hard auto attackers. There's going to be a Victor on the enemy team. There's going to be an Elise. There's going to be a tank like a freaking Scion, and you're just going to suffer. You're going to get CC chained. You're going to get killed by spells, and your champ is worthless. It's so short ranged. It needs a buff. Like in the good games I've seen it, it's still horrible. Like Neela, it's really bad. Like until someone finds some really cool pairing to do with her, she's bad. Quinn, not a real ADC. Samira, um, honestly, I literally might put her above Draven. Like this champ's not that bad. She can go defense boot and like she the struggle is that she does suck against tanks, but I'll give her a C tier. I'll give her a C tier. She has her pop off games. You know, she can get fed AF, especially with a really good engaged support player. If she gets really fed and like snowball 8, I don't even think like a tank can like super stop her from killing the rest of his team. Sure, you can't kill the tank, but you can dash through him and find something, you know. And that's why I feel like Samira is like she's playable, but eh, oh, okay, my headset died for a second. Okay. Um, I'm back now, but yeah, Samir, top of C tier. Senna, support, it doesn't count. Seraphine, mage, doesn't count. Sivir, wow. Sivir, let me bump Kaisa down here. Sivir is pretty good. I think Sivir is super underrated right now. Probably one of the most underrated ADCs next to Kalista because she's in that same boat with like MF in which she already has an attack speed steroid on her kit and on her W when she gets the extra attack speed from her ult on her W. Same way MF has attack speed on her W. So she can like cheat and go IE Essence Reaver full crit and a BT or something like that. And it's really viable. Like she scales super well. Nexus turrets respawn so she can do the wave clear game and scale up while also using her spell shield to block off a lot of the annoying things that are happening this season that can just one-shot any other AD carry. So her spell shield's viable, her ult's always a useful tool to be useful in any game with any team comp, whether you're disengaging or you're going in, and her scaling and her AoE damage, wave clear, is just really, really good. I think the one thing that she lacks kind of is like insane fighting power early, but you kind of just want to play for getting waves, pushing lanes, and then showing up to a fight first with your movement speed and your priority onto the lane. So yeah, this champ's all about playing on the lane first, then going to a fight. You don't want to like skip and jump into fights like a Kaisa would, but I think she's super sleeper OP. Like I think super sleeper. Um, skip these mages. Tristana above top of C tier. Like she's all right. She's super cheese. I'll say she's like super cheese. I don't think the champion is super like insane. She has decent matchups, but like if you're a Triss player, this could bump up to like you know low A, top B, but that could be many cases for many of these, like being a good Kaisa player, being a decent Draven player. Trist, um, you just why pick these ADCs? You know, like any of these below B tier, you're like kind of throwing if you're picking these. Like you just have better options. Um, Twitch. This guy, holy, okay. This guy's made a comeback. He sucked. A lot of Twitch mains are coming back into Challenger, coming back into high elo. I don't know why, because none of his builds changed. He's still like, he still has his crappy items, his crappy damage. I just think it's the fact that the meta has changed entirely around fighting and grouping up for objectives. And Twitch players love running around and finding free kills. So every solo queue game, I see Twitches are just roaming mid. They're roaming up to grubs. They're roaming the top even. And they're ditching waves to get their feats and to like help their team out constantly because showing up to objectives is like a super big thing and everyone's just constantly fighting. Even level 1 first bloods are so easy to acquire as Twitch just stealthing into the enemy jungle with your team. And I just think the fact this champ is like super easy to cheese out what's it called picks and first bloods, small advantages like that just makes him quite a menace in solo queue. So I'm gonna put him up here in A tier. I think he's really good. Way better than other people think. He also struggles against tanks, but you know, a lot of these AD carries do. Varus, oof. Right here, slightly above Kalista. Uh, I also feel like Varus is um, he's just a slightly better Kalista. He's a slightly these two are kind of almost even like identical in many ways. They have like insane utility on their ultimates. They have like the on-hit damage on like their on-hit builds, but he can also go lethality, which is like the scary thing about Varus. In a full, well, Kalista can also go lethality in some niche full squishy games, but it's way better for a Varus to be a lethality than it is for a Kalista. This guy has way more. He just has a different extra build. That's why I'll bump him up higher than Kalista. But I feel like he's really good at fighting. He's really good with builds. He can build defensive boots, and maybe I'll put him above Caitlyn. I think I'll put him above. Yeah, I'll put him above Caitlyn. Him and Jhin are kind of on a similar tier. Um, oof, maybe I'm rating Jhin too highly. Hold on, let me bump him down. There we go. That's a little better. That fits a little bit more of like my criteria. That's a little better. Okay, we'll take that. You know, these 4 to 5 ADCs right here, this line of ADCs are like the these are all like pick and choose. You know, they all do like similar things. They're oppressive laners who have certain utilities and different like little gimmicks. Caitlyn has less utility in exchange for way more damage, but they all like to win their lanes. You know, use utility to like fight with their team and to like make picks, kill people fast. You know, they're good. Vayne, gosh, I don't know. This champ is bad too. I'll put her down here next to Af. Like these just don't like. She's a better top laner. She's a better mid laner. Like she's just pick any other AD carry. It's weak. Do not pick Vayne. Okay. Zeri, bottom of B tier. I think Zeri just has really good tempo. That's her only advantage. Like her damage is a mid. Her level 6 spike is strong, I guess, but before that you're kind of a caster minion. And her scaling is not that great because you're typically going like static shift builds. And I'd rather be Kaisa any day than Zeri right now. It's just Zeri's advantage is her ability to run around the map, eat around the map, kill little flowers around the map quickly. And I guess like she's decent in some comps, some AFK games where you can scale up and be a teamfight monster, but I'd rather pick many others. Zeri's alright. Okay. Zaya. you're kind of similar with Zeri. I mean, she's a wave clear bot. She's defensive. She's decent. She's okay, but you just have so many losing matchups this season. You get rolled by like a Twitch. You get rolled by Ashe. You get rolled by Kalista. You get rolled by Sivir, all these. Like you beat Kai'Sa, you counter Kai'Sa, right? But in the end of the day, it's AP Kai'Sa, and she could just farm up, you know, juke your ult late game and just play it with her team better and just throw W's at you. Like you beat her in lane, but you know that's all you can really do. Like Xayah has decent games where her ult's useful, and then in many other games like she's just bad. I think Xayah's down here. Maybe she's worse than Zeri. Eh. Yeah, she's worse than Zeri, I think. I don't like Xayah. Her items are not even that good either this season. And well, I mean, after looking at all that, that's every AD carry. Like all these are just mages and everything else. But here's the final list. Like this is what I feel like. If you pick anything under B tier, you're selling the game for your team. And I feel like that a lot of AD carries are good right now. You can play a lot of things to win lane, to win early, to win team fights, and you can find many ways to be useful. Roaming around as Twitch, like scaling as Sivir, like dominating lane as any of these five an A tier, or just straight up being Thanos as Corki or Misfortune, and just having so much more impact on the game than anyone else. So hope you enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy the tier list. I'd appreciate like a subscribe. I'll see if I can upload a little more and do this for like every patch if things change. And yeah, thanks for watching.